It is time to do a rookie guide for the month of January, and we'll break down all the rookies and I'll give my honest thoughts. G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the rookie guide for AFL SuperCoach 2026. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, it's Stephen DW Smith, and also on TikTok, SDS_SuperCoach, where I do shortened versions of my videos. Give it a like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the rookies, and I will one day reply to the comments. All right, so what I wanted to do this year was do a rookie guide for every month. So January, February, March. February and March are probably going to be ones where I collab with another content creator, but for now, we just have me to do it. So I'm going to go through all the rookies, where they stand. It could be a decent long video, so strap yourself in. All right. Also, I'm going to be bulk recording videos today because there is no way, because in my parents' office, where I'm currently doing my recording because of my broken wrist, there is no aircon in here. So there is no way I'm going to be doing videos tomorrow in 46 degrees. So probably a team preview tomorrow. All right, let's get into it, shall we? So let's work our way down on each line. We'll start in defence, as we usually do. Zeke Hewland at 60% ownership, 199K. He was picked 2 in the draft. He was probably the best prospect heading into the drafts, but West Coast wanted to take their guy at pick 1. Zeke Hewland, I think I have a bit of confidence that he could be playing straight away as a winger, and he could even play down in defence. So I am pretty confident. I think Gold Coast team, we know, is already stacked, but probably the wing, it was probably a weak spot for them. I could see Zeke Hewland taking over Sam Closey and getting a bit of opportunity down there. So up there on the wing. So at 199K, I think this is a rookie you can trust on field and you can start on field. So I quite like him. So I will probably put all the guys, I'll actually fill out the whole team of rookies on who I really like the most. Brendan Walker, he's just a lockdown defender, probably in Freo's best side, but no need to be picking him. Harry Dean at 194K, he's probably more of a guy where if we're running out of options for defensive rookies come round 1, then we look to go with. I think he does play straight away for the Blues. I think he is more that ready-made type. It's just more about what type of scoring he could do. I actually am mildly confident he could get up to like 300K, but I think there are some rookies that are cheaper and more likely to score better. But one thing we can say with Harry Dean is time on ground should be fine. We know with more key position players that they're more on field than some of the mids and halfbacks, that sort of thing. So I don't think his time on ground will be an issue. It's just really sort of how much of the ball can he get, and that's probably the main worry. You can take some intercept marks, but that would be my concern. So I think at 194K, it's a little bit for a rookie that I probably actually wouldn't trust on field, but maybe he could prove us wrong. But I don't mind him if we run out of options. Hasty, no idea about the job security there. Dawson, key defence for North Melbourne. I haven't seen enough to suggest that he is probably worth paying for that. Tom Doedee, Brisbane has like one of the best lists of all time. I don't even know if he gets into the best 23. Jordan Boyd is an underrated one, but he has a good kick on him. Does he, 1, get in the team, and 2, is he gonna get enough of the ball? Because he's good by foot, but probably a bit too much in and out for me. Dylan Patterson at 185K. I just haven't heard enough about him. So as pre-season goes on, we'll hear more and more news about these rookies. But for the time being, not much has really been said. So I can only suggest he'll start out in the VFL early days. Oscar Adams hasn't shown any signs of scoring potential, so we don't need to worry about that. Cooper Simpson would actually make a good rookie at 178K, a little bit more experience. I think he's 21, 22 years of age now, but I think he just doesn't sneak into that the fully fit best 23 for Fremantle. Borlase back up the key defender. O'Connell hasn't really shown any signs of scoring potential. I think Lewis Hayes is still out with an ACL, so speedy recovery. Then we move on to Sam Grill, where I think I'm relatively confident early days that he plays pretty early at 172k. It just depends on the role. So it could be wing, could be half back potentially for the Tigers. It's just more about, do you trust him on field? I don't trust him yet, but I think he's one that you could leave on the bench and he should be able to make some money. Zane Dersma, again, another guy that hasn't shown enough signs to be a good scorer at this point in time, and no guarantee that he makes best 23 here. Jade Newen, pretty similar to a Brandon Walker, more your lockdown defender, won't get much of the pill. James Leake, who knows if he's best 23 and probably a bit too much to pay for. Hugh Bond, again, with Newen and Brandon Walker. He is a lockdown defender. He isn't going to score that much. Barrow, been hearing a bit about him, but no real signs of anything that suggests he gets in straight away to the team. So he could play halfback, could play wing. I don't expect him midfield straight away. He's an interesting prospect. Could be an upgrade target during the season. I'm just not sure as of yet if he gets in straight away. Grego, there's many guys at West Coast that could get a game. Xavier Taylor is probably a guy that plays straight away for Melbourne. I think there are enough vacancies in defence for the Ds. Jake Bowie's missing the first half of the season, and Jaden McVee went to Freo. So I think he's a guy, and I think he's ready to. He's a straightaway ready kind of player. Reece McGuinness, probably not enough signs of scoring. Harvey Gallagher, not best 23 at this stage. Bo Allen's interesting. Certainly provided a lot of frustrating moments for coaches last season. And I'm hearing a little bit of murmurs that he's going pretty well, but probably need to be closer to round one to get a full read on him. Archer's done his ACL, speed of recovery for him. I'm pretty keen on Menez Wakefield, but I'm now starting to get a bit shaky. Like, I haven't heard much. We know he did his ACL in February during a practice match against the Tigers. But I think I might take him out because I just haven't heard enough at this point in time. Because in my opinion, if he is fit and healthy, Melbourne supporters are really wanting him to play. So he's more that experienced body again. So probably until we hear anything else, probably a guy that we just wait and see. Kyle probably won't play, same with Taylor. Josh Gibcus, 139k. Again, he is relatively interesting because he's not a kid anymore. He's 21, 22 years of age. He's had a rough run with injuries. And I think there is enough scoring potential for him to be an option. 139k, it feels like every year we're picking him as a defensive rookie, unfortunately, because he can't get a good run at it. But probably a guy we look at once again. So I probably like Gibcus at this point in time. Will Parker, no guarantee there. Brain didn't play at all last year. It's such a good name. Bailey McDonald, I think, will make some appearances during the season, but I don't think there's not enough evidence to suggest he's best 23 straight away. But a couple more injuries to the Hawks, and he probably sneaks in there. Josh Lindsay, if he plays, I really like his scoring potential at 122k. I think he has massive potential to be a cash cow. It's just more about whether he can get into the team. Harrison Ram, to be honest, I don't know much about him. And we'll slowly go through this a bit. I'll bring up someone if I've heard any news here. None of these Adelaide to Collingwood boys I have heard much about. We'll keep going down. Caleb Graham, nearly said Caleb Daniel. More your experienced key defender there, but they prefer Oscar Adams over him. As we keep going down, I haven't heard much. Dave King sang his praises for Noah Miraz. So, but there are a few bodies ahead of him. Blank, I don't think plays unless two of Sicily, Barris, Battle, or Scrimshaw are injured, to be honest. Ricky Menther's flying under the radar a little bit as a defensive option as well. So 119K, maybe one of those guys that's maybe ahead of him in his Wakefield. Could even be ahead of an Oscar Taylor, is it? Xavier Taylor. I get Xavier Taylor and Oscar Taylor from the Giants confused. I do apologise. So, mate, one to keep an eye on there. Gota, I don't really know if he's best 23, but North's defence is a bit dodgy, so probably could do worse. Whitlock, does he get in? Who knows at this point in time? As we slowly go through it, and then we got this man right here, Jai Sarong. I think this is another guy that I would be confident in fielding. I didn't say with the other two, sorry. Gibcus, probably not after what's been happening with his body, which is unfortunate, but probably more your bench rookie there. Josh Lindsay, if he plays, I think you would be okay with having him on field there. Yeah, Jai Sarong, I think is an absolutely fantastic option. Can play wing, half back, down forward as a third tall. I think he will be one of our stronger defensive rookies, and he's probably my favourite out of all the rookies to have on field, maybe even ahead of Hewland. So as long as he can get into the team, I really like Jai Sarong's potential as a cash cow. Gardner, I think there's a couple of guys ahead. Jax, is that how you say it? Jaquez. I mean, I'm thinking of Jaime Jaquez, but I presume he's not Mexican. Lockie Jax, been hearing a little bit about, but not really much substance there. As we continue to go down, I think we're reaching 113K territory to where, who knows, I think Thread Gold will eventually get a game, but just a matter of when. Lockie Carmichael was looking like an interesting defensive rookie option, but unfortunately has done a syndesmosis injury, so probably a downgrade target at some point during the season. The rest, not so much. So there are 5 guys I really like as defensive rookies, and some of them you can put in the midfield, so like a Hewland, a Grill, that type of thing. So my suggestion would probably be we're looking at 4 to 5 rookies. Sorry, 4 to 5 primo and mid-priced options, and D6 is ideally your only rookie in defense. Or you could go a little bit thinner and go D5 when you start putting the rookies in, but I wouldn't go any higher than this. I think you need to have a minimum of 4 premium/mid-price guys before we start fielding these rookies here. So I think it's fine to have like a Sarong on field, a Hewland on field. Other than that, yeah, I'd probably structure-wise, we are looking to have overall 3 or 4 rookies in our defensive line. All right, let's move into, we'll save the midfield for last because there's a mixture of DPP and stuff. Let's go into the ruck line. Now, there isn't as many options here. Max Heath could play. He could play, but does certainly feels more like backup for Gawn. But he has that ability to play forward and ruck, so he could make a surprise appearance for the Ds. But at the minute, I feel like he's depth. Cooper, Duff, Tytler went pick 4, I believe, to the Eagles. I'm not sure if he's ready to play straight away. Now, he could be. At 190K, they can take a while, rucks, to fully develop. But he could be doing a Archer Reed type season where he's playing in where he's playing that ruck forward role, maybe more forward, and then chips in the ruck. I probably don't think this is a guy that, unless there's no other options that we need to realistically be starting or having on field, probably just letting it play out and see closer to round 1. Vigo Bizantini at 181K, probably some interest with him, just purely because of Essendon's ruck situation. It does seem as every day goes forward that Blackiston's going to be starting as the number 1 ruck for Essendon until Nick Bryan is back. So I think Bizantini, for the time being, unless there's any backflips or anything, I think they prefer Blackiston, and probably a guy we just pass on for the time being. Samson Ryan, no. Now this is where it gets interesting, because we have a new contender today on the rise for the Crows. Lockie McAndrew was spotted as the number one ruck in Match Sim. So he was on the A's team. So that's an interesting situation. The only problem I have with like Crows to rucks, Riley O'Brien gets dropped every now and then, but then he'll cut sick and jump straight back in. So this is 10 times more risky than like a Matt Flynn from last year. 119K, I'll tell you what, if it's true, it opens up a lot of flexibility for the rest of our team. And I'd love for this to be true, but it is a bit dodgy. Unless Riley O'Brien's injured, he could play just one game and then get dropped. So that's what I suspect could happen. No ruck forward DPP, which hurts him a little bit more. So you're further stuck with him during the early rounds if he doesn't play. So, or if he gets dropped, that kind of thing. Liam Reedy is the main talk of the town at 119K ruck forward, which really helps him as well, being an R3. It does seem like Pitternet is a fair bit ahead of him from what I've been hearing from training reports. So it's probably seeming less and less likely for Reedy to be playing straight away. Now, could they go with two rucks? Potentially. There's also Hudson O'Keefe to keep in mind. So I'm not going to fully rule out this pick, but he is mainly a ruckman. Haven't seen much forward craft. I think Freeman were trying to craft him more into a forward, but haven't really seen much evidence at all that he can play forward. So it'd be a bit weird for Carlton to, I mean, unless some clubs are doing it, like we're hearing that they could use the fifth bench player as like a sub. So get prepared for that again. They remove the sub, but whatever. Clubs don't care. It would be weird for Reedy and Pitternet to play, and Reedy has like 30% game time. But if he is named round one, we probably do go there as a pick. Like ideally, we're picking 31 players that are playing, because players will get dropped in and out where we just need to look at, we don't need to pick a dead rookie just for the VC loophole round one. Our players will get dropped. All right, so those are probably the main two. As we continue to look down, Steen, I just don't think so. Nobles from Freo, I believe. Tom Campbell, I don't see either of these guys playing. Barnett's injured. And Kalani White, people using as that loophole. So maybe if Reedy or McAndrew doesn't get picked round one, we go with Kalani White, save ourselves 20K. And if none of these rookie options in the ruck are named round one, then we probably end up going with Kalani White. But you can still pick Liam Reedy because he could eventually make money. We just don't know when. So those are probably my two favourites. And then if worse comes to worse, we pick Kalani White. Let's move into the forward line. How long has this been going for? 18 minutes. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Let's get a little wriggle on. Like McDonald, no. He's rumoured to play defence, but I'm worried about that back. Sam Butler's on the brink of being best 23 for the Hawks. Probably a couple more injuries, and he is fully in. I was going through Hawthorn's best 23, and it's probably him as the 24th or 25th guy. But it won't take much for him to be consistently in the team. Tommy Gross, probably not. Grzuski is actually interesting. Shout out Surrey Park. But as a key forward, probably some cheaper guys that we can prefer. Henry Smith might make some appearances. Will Hayes as a smaller option, but just can't really trust those Collingwood rookies. Noah Long at 189K, probably just not enough scoring potential there. He was looking really good early days and sort of dropped off a fair bit. Jack Henderson was a popular rookie at some point, but just dropped off dramatically. Hanley's more your small forward, another guy we don't need to bother. We've heard what's happened to Taylor Adams getting knocked out in a nightclub, which is, probably just bastard at this point now. Hansen, same thing with Hanley. Tholstrup, he's slowly getting there, and probably a guy that gets more games this year, but nothing set in stone yet. Dan Butler, again, no. Jake Rogers, probably doesn't get into that best 23. Whitlock, again, probably another guy that needs injuries to happen. Maley's forward depth. Harry Armstrong, again, key forward. Lincoln McCarthy, is he even best 23 anymore? It's such a good team that Brisbane are running with. I think this could be his last season. Filippo, now he is pretty much the obvious one. Sorry, I keep forgetting to not add the rookies that I like. Filippo in the forward line. I have confidence in him to score, as we've seen in the past as a midfielder. This dead half-forward role that they keep playing him sometimes at AFL level is not fieldable worthy. I do have my doubts that they could just force him in that half-forward role again. But if he's playing around that 40% plus game time in the midfield, then that is a fieldable option for our forward line, and we can look to pick him. So probably a pick regardless, but just hopefully that midfield role is consistent. Sullivan Roby, out of the three early Essendon picks, he's probably the one I have the least amount of confidence that he'll be playing round one, just due to that back problem. Could be a rookie down the line as a downgrade target in the future, but at 167k, nothing suggests to me as an option at this point. Lance Collard, small forward. Aidan Johnson, key depth. Liam Henry, I haven't heard enough from him in training reports, so probably a guy where it's a name, and it's an interesting name because we know at his best he can get to realistically 350, 400k, but who knows if he's in that team going forward. Angove, I've heard a little bit about, but not much confidence. Braden Cook's one to keep an eye on. I think he'll feature a bit more for the Crows. Bench, small forward. Harry Sharp, not enough confidence there. Datoli is, again, a small forward, so hard to pick. Pickett, small forward. Max King, I mean, we've already seen the reports that he's aiming for an opening round, but 50% game time. Like, that's nothing much to do there. Hines could be a guy that we see a bit more. Dolan, haven't seen enough scoring potential. Himmelberg's depth. Todd Marshall is the next guy, and I would trust him on field. If we're hearing kickouts in defence for Todd Marshall, we're hearing him playing in defence. So if that continues throughout preseason, that is a fieldable forward option. So those are already two guys. As we continue to go down, Malcolm Roses is a cheeky one, but probably more as a deep small forward. Doverston, probably if enough options opened up in the forward line for rookies, then we look to go there. I think he has more potential than like a scorer than like a Nick Watson, where I think he's a bit higher up the ground. He pushes up more your half forward type than Watson, who was purely a forward pocket in his first season. So Doverson, I've got more hope for, but just as a bench rookie. As we continue to go down day weeks, who knows? Jefferson, will he eventually break out? He's been on the list for a little while. We knew it was a bit of a project. Sid Draper's in 50%, so I'll address this. I'd be shocked if he played round one. He's still dealing with a groin issue. I don't think he's going to play, so probably a guy we don't bother with. Here's the boy, Harvey Harrison. I think this lad has a lot of potential to be a cash cow for us. I think he is best 23 for Collingwood. And at 126k, he missed the entire of last year due to an ACL. But he's 22, 23 years of age now. I think he'll really lock himself into Collingwood's best 23. I think he is a much better pick than like a Sid Draper and a few of these guys up here. So I also think he is another guy you could trust on field. So that's three rookies you could probably trust on field. McKenna, probably not best 23 anymore as we continue to go down. And if there's anything that sticks out, Charlie West is a key forward, maybe. Probably not, though. Ideally not. Leo Lombard is probably another rookie I'd probably have on the bench. But at 119k, I mean, he was tracking, start of last season, he was tracking a big best 23 until he did his shoulder. So he's a really interesting, fun prospect in the forward line for the Suns there. As we continue to go down, and I'll add someone if I've heard any news or whatever. Jasper Alger, we've heard a little bit about from Richmond. Again, probably more your bench option, but it's an option. I actually didn't read the article, but I've heard a bit of news that Alger's pushing for round 1 there. Arthur Jones, will he finally break out as an option? Maybe I'd just like to hear a few more things. Finn McRae is another one at 119k. If enough dominoes fall, like we've heard Hewitt has gotten injured for the Eagles, could he break in and be that midfield option? I think there's a little bit of Will Brodiness about him. I'll get to that in a sec. So for now, maybe not at this point for Finn McRae. Just I think a couple more bodies would need to fall. Devon Robertson, I'm a bit more secure about being a part of our rookies. There's a lot more versatility with him, bit more experience at an AFL level, and probably the more talented player. Sorry, Finn McRae, I do like your work, but at 119k, no guarantee that he's best 23, but should sneak himself into contention coming round 1. Can play wing, can play in the midfield, can play half forward. So probably a rookie at this stage that I wouldn't be 100% sure on. So I think I prefer like a Harrison, Filippo, Marshall on field than him, but another guy. So we look more towards the 113k guys. I don't think there's as much here to talk about here. Not hearing enough about as we head into the 99k territory where, again, it's just some people like picking the 99k rookies because they want to fill out their team as best as they can, but I'm not a fan of that. You should be picking rookies that should be playing round 1 on your bench. So overall summary, I think Filippo, Marshall, and Harrison are 3 decent, strong rookies with on-field potential. Certainly these 3 as on-field options for our forward line, and then these 4 are just more your bench types. But so you can run as many as 3 premiums and mid prices in the forward line, and you could even go 3 rookies here and 2 on the bench. But I think with the amount of decent forward options, it's probably leaning more towards that 4 territory, even 5 territory for those mid-price and premium options in the forward line. So some people might be running 3 or 4. I think 4 is probably the right number. I think 2 of these 3 on field and then 1 of them on the bench and 1 of these 4 on the bench is probably the structure we're looking at early days. And I guess the question, just in case if people are asking, I consider Willem Dersma and Price Down as rookies. So speaking of Willem Dersma, I guess we can talk about him. Just because he's a utility, it does leave me to believe like what type of scoring he could do. I don't think it's the strongest scoring pedigree at 203k. So a little bit X-y of a price. Like there is every chance Devon Robertson, if he gets into the team, could play a better role than Willem Dersma. My thoughts is he could be a wing. Versatile guy. I don't even know if I'd trust him on field. I think I prefer guys like Zeke Euland and a couple of options I'll bring up here. But for now, if a couple of options drop off as rookie options, then maybe Dersma is your guy. George Stevens has got potential as a scoring pig, but Geelong have certainly got their midfield rotation locked in. Hustwaite, even with Day's injury, probably isn't best 23, I would have thought. I think there's a couple of guys ahead of him. Sam Marshall, just depth, really. We've talked about Butler. Rowan Steele, 50k cheaper and maybe, but I worry about the game time there. Daniel Annable, I've mentioned this before, Brisbane's depth is unbelievable, so probably makes that a bit hard. Jai Clark, more your lockdown guy. Camper Reale, not really. I haven't heard much about Sam Cummings, so I'm not going to pretend that I know what's going on with Cumming. I'm just going to leave him off for the time being. I'm not hearing enough noise on what's going on there. Paddy Doubt, VFL depth. Jimmy Tunstall, he's just in and out and in and out. So, no. Here's the big dog, Dyson Sharp. He's a rookie that you can trust on field, 149K. Does he get midfield straight away? Maybe not, but he knows how to get the ball, and he's a pretty ready-made rookie. So we like those type of players and should be playing straight away, best 23 every week for the Bombers. And I like his scoring potential, that's for sure. So I think Dyson Sharp is a strong on-field rookie to have. Nick Cox, no. And then we sort of head down to the 119K range. Where is he? There he is. Jagger Smith, another rookie that we should be able to trust on field. He could average 90. He's just got that profile, SuperCoach profile, where he knows how to get the ball. We just haven't seen it at AFL level, but I am pretty confident he can be a solid on-field rookie for us and maybe the best one. So could play a part in Carlton's midfield early days. So as the ownership suggests, this is probably the must-have rookie of SuperCoach and real strong contender to be the main cash generator for our sides. Jepson, more your lockdown guy. As we continue to go down, jack off. Not now. Let's keep going down. Will Brody's an interesting one. I think with the time on ground, it makes it hard for me to think that he can be a solid on-field scorer despite his potential role of being a part of that midfield rotation. I just find it hard because of the new sub thing where the sub's gone, which is good, but the time on ground really concerns me. There's not much versatility in his game. Probably needs midfield to have impact. Needs midfield minutes to have impact. So probably a rookie that we can start. I do worry about his job security once Ollie Wines comes back from suspension. And he should be able to score fine for the first couple of rounds, despite the time on ground concerns. But after that, being best 23, I'm not sure. Rasheshko looking to lock down a wing spot for the Tigers. Early days, we're hearing some nice things there at 119K. So definitely a guy that we have a look at, especially coming from Geelong. We know they get it right most of the time. So, could be an option. I need to pause. We are nearly 33 minutes in, so let's keep going, shall we? Josh Smiley at 119K. I think he's still in injury rehab at the minute. Poor bugger's had a shock and run, so probably not a guy where probably a downgrade target at some point if he can ever stay on the park. I'm hearing rumours that Jack Carroll is playing off half-back, so that spikes my interest immediately for the Saints there. As we continue to go down, Printable, I've heard a couple of things with the Pies. Now, I believe he is mature age. Let's have a look, shall we? I don't really know if you can see. I actually can't see his age. He is from the Brisbane Academy. Let's keep. Oh no, he's 18 years old. Oh, it might be Angus Anderson. Or it might be Swadling. I don't remember. I heard some nice things about Printable. One of these guys could be playing round one, but again, Collingwood rookies do scare me off a little bit, just job security wise. Dalton, I don't think he's playing straight away. As we continue to go down, we've already talked about Lockie Carmichael. I think Javon Filippo is a little while away for the Swannies. And we're starting to head towards. We can talk about Ollie Greaves. Hearing some noise about him at 99K. He's ready-made, body-wise. He looks ready-made straight away. I do have concerns about his defensive work and his speed, but could be an instant rookie option for the Hawks in the midfield there. But I think I prefer these guys over him. So overall summary, Dyson Sharp and Jagger Smith as, in my opinion, must starts on field, and then filling it out with these guys. Now, you can also put DPP guys on the bench, which is what I like to do. So if I can have a defensive rookie like a Grill on the mid-bench here, then that would be good. Even if you can sneak like an Adam Treloar or a Harry Sheasel in this midfield to give that mid-forward DPP potential, just as extra flexibility on the bench there, then there's probably not enough mid-forwards that I trust at this point in time. Now, this could all change in a month. So, yeah. Look, we'll wrap it up there, guys. This video's gone long enough. Appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.